Sunt daughter, I am here. And before any words, let me just hold you gently for a moment. Christmas, which so many say they celebrate in my name, has become for so many a burden, a shop window, a stage. And I know that wears your heart out. Today, I want to walk with you through these lights that shine, but sometimes drown out what is most true. When I was among you, I did not choose palaces. I did not look for glamour. I was born far from human glory, to remind the world that true glory is not in what impresses the eyes, but in what transforms the heart. Son, when you say with your lips, "You are the center of Christmas," but your heart gets lost in the anxiety of comparisons, in perfect pictures, in gifts that try to say what affection alone could already express, I do not condemn you. I am simply calling you back, because I know how much the world pressures you to look strong, to look happy, to look successful. But I did not come to call appearances. I came to call people. Remember, the manger where I was born would not have made it to anyone's stories. There was simplicity, the smell of hay, silence, vulnerability. And it was exactly in that unfiltered place that love began to heal the world. Today, many celebrate my birth trying to escape precisely that simplicity I embraced. Daughter, I see when your heart tightens as you compare your life to other people's lives. I see when your table isn't as full as you wish it were, when the gift isn't as expensive as you imagined, when your family isn't as united as other people's photos make theirs look. I know, and I tell you with love, do not be afraid. The value of your life is not in what you show off, but in who you are, and you are loved. You are my beloved, even in your exhaustion, even in your little, even in your silence. When many live Christmas as a festival of excess, I keep calling each one back to the humility that saves. Not humiliation, but humility, that place where the heart learns to love more than it needs to be seen. If you offer the world a smile you don't feel, I don't accuse you. I simply invite you to rest. If your home doesn't shine like the store windows, remember, my light does not depend on decorations. It is born when love is lived, not when love is displayed. And maybe, if I walk today through the so-called Christian celebrations, yes, I would say, you mention me with your mouths, but you forget me in your way of living. But I wouldn't say that to wound you. I would say it to wake you up, because I don't want your guilt. I want your heart awake, alive, free from the expectations that suffocate you. Son, love is the way, and that love begins in the small things, in silent forgiveness, in a simple gesture, in affection offered without expecting applause. Something simple to practice today. Before thinking about presents, think about presence. Write a sincere message to someone who is far away. Say a short prayer asking for peace for your own heart. Choose to be kindness where everyone else is in a hurry. And if this podcast is speaking to your heart, feel free to leave a comment sharing what brought you the most peace. Your sharing may bring light to someone else who is also carrying unnecessary burdens. Son, daughter, come closer. Peace be with you. I want you to hear these words like someone resting their head on the shoulder of a friend who doesn't demand performances from you, only honesty. When many say, Jesus is the center of Christmas, they tend to imagine that happens automatically, just because they say my name or set up a nativity scene in the living room. But I tell you with love, I don't dwell in decorations, I dwell in hearts. The nativity scene is a symbol, a reminder, but I am born again every time love wins over pride inside of you. And I know, son, that sometimes pride doesn't show up as arrogance. Sometimes it disguises itself as fear of looking small, fear of disappointing others, fear of not having what other people have. And then Christmas, which should be an encounter, becomes a silent competition. Who serves the best dinner? Who gives the most expensive gift? Who posts the most perfect photo? I see that. and it saddens me not because I blame you, but because I see you tired from trying to hold up an image that never needed to exist. Daughter, I love you as you really are, not as you appear after editing. When I was born in the manger, I was giving you an eternal sign. Love doesn't need grand settings to transform lives. My coming into the world was small in human eyes, but immense in the Father's eyes. And the same is true for you. What the world considers little, I consider a seed. And seeds change landscapes. Son, imagine if, on that day, Joseph and Mary had waited for a perfect, comfortable place, worthy of the arrival of the Savior. They might have waited so long for the ideal setting that they would have missed the divine moment in the ordinary, but they welcomed what they had. And so I came, not in the ideal, but in the possible. That's how it is with the Christmas in your heart. It doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when you let me in, even if your inner world is messy, tired, incomplete. I see when you try to please everyone and forget yourself. I see when you work so hard to make everything look beautiful, even when you're broken inside. Daughter, I did not come to demand a show from you. I came to offer you rest. Something simple to practice today. Take a deep breath and look at your home, or your heart, just as it is right now, without judgment. Then choose one simple gesture. Tidy up just one small corner. Set something aside to give away, or pour a simple glass of water and offer it to someone with care. In the kingdom, the simple things carry the weight of eternity. And I want to gently ask you for something. If this path we are walking together is strengthening you, subscribe to keep following the next episodes. That way we keep walking side by side, and your heart doesn't have to make this journey alone. Peace be with you. I am here. And today I want to talk to you about something many avoid, but that touches the soul deeply. The kind of Christmas that hurts. Yes, because while some celebrate with laughter and full tables, others carry absences, painful memories, comparisons that wound, expectations that never come true. Son, I see when Christmas stirs up memories you try to hide. That empty chair, that relationship that ended, that family that doesn't smile like in the commercials. I see when you look at other people's lives and ask, even without words, Jesus, why isn't it like that for me? Daughter, I don't judge you for feeling that way. I welcome you. I also experienced rejection, silence, loneliness. There were moments when I walked among many people but remained alone. That's why I understand your heart so deeply, not in theory but from lived experience. When I was born, the city was full, but there was no room for me. I came into the world in an improvised shelter, with no help, no comfort, no human honor. And yet, in that simple space, heaven opened. The angels sang. Hope caught its breath. Son, understand this gently. The lack of glamour does not stop the miracle. Simplicity does not cancel beauty. And what today seems far too small to you may be exactly the place where my light wants to rest. I see when you force a smile so you won't disappoint those around you. I see when you laugh, but your eyes reveal an old tiredness. Daughter, you don't have to impress me. Authenticity is more sacred than any perfect celebration. Christmas is not about what you can set up, buy, or show. It is about what you allow to be born inside you. And sometimes the first step is to admit, Jesus, I'm not okay. And that honest prayer opens doors for me that no decoration ever could. Son, don't be afraid to acknowledge your weaknesses. The manger was fragile too, and even so, it held the Savior. The Father chose a humble place so that no one would think my presence depends on status. Let me tell you something with love. You don't have to live a Christmas that looks beautiful on the outside and empty on the inside. I'm calling you to live a real Christmas, even if it's imperfect, deep, even if it's quiet, real, even without sparkle. Something simple to practice today. Choose a moment of stillness. Close your eyes and with just a few words, tell me what you are really feeling. Joy, sadness, longing, frustration, whatever it is. Then, hand it over to me like someone offering a small gift. I receive every fragment of you with tenderness. And when you feel your heart is very heavy, do a hidden act of kindness, a prayer for someone who is suffering, an extra plate for someone who has little, a gentle word for someone living under tension. Silent generosity heals wounds you don't even realize are there. Daughter, son, love is the way. And when you walk in that love, even a simple Christmas becomes radiant. Soon in one of the next episodes, I will ask you to like and share the message to reach more hearts, but not now. I want this moment to remain intimate, just between you and me. Peace be with you. Take a deep breath. I am here. Today I want to lead you a little further along the path that so many forget when Christmas draws near. The path of inner simplicity. I'm not talking only about a simple house or a modest table. I'm talking about a heart willing to love without competing, to serve without being seen, to give without expecting applause. Son, when I was born, the eyes of the world were turned toward the great leaders, the temples, the palaces. But there, in an insignificant stable, the greatest miracle was happening. That shows you something profound. The kingdom is not revealed where there is luxury, but where there is room. Daughter, sometimes you ask me to bring something new to life in you, but your heart is so full of expectations, comparisons, inner demands, that there is no room for the new to rest. I don't say this to scold you. I say it because I love you, because I want to lighten your load, not add to it. I want to remind you that, to welcome my light, you don't need perfection, only openness. When you walk down the street in December, you're surrounded by shining lights, songs playing, store windows calling for attention. But inside you, sometimes there are quiet shadows. The feeling that you're not living enough, that you haven't achieved what you imagined, that you don't fit into the standards people put on you. Son, I see it. And with tenderness I tell you, do not be afraid. The light I bring does not depend on your achievements, but on your surrender. I did not come looking for trophies. I came looking for your broken pieces. I came to remind you that the value of your life is not measured by flawless celebrations, but by love lived in truth. Remember when I washed the feet of my disciples. I, the master, became a servant to teach that love always goes down, never climbs up onto a stage to show off. If Christmas has turned into a status contest, it has lost the flavor of the gospel. Christmas is about going down, coming down from the race for approval, coming down from the need for control, coming down from constant comparison, and stepping into the humility that sets you free. Daughter, when you free your heart from the need to impress, you discover a new kind of joy, the kind that doesn't depend on recognition, but on meaning. And that joy no one can take from you. You may be asking, Jesus, but how do I live that in practice, in the middle of so much pressure? I tell you simply, something simple to practice today. Choose to do a good deed that no one will see. It could be helping someone without saying it was you, leaving some food at the door of someone in need, writing an anonymous message of encouragement, or simply listening to someone who feels alone. Humility grows when love acts without needing a stage. And remember, every quiet act you do, every time you set your ego aside, every choice to serve, all of that reaches me. And when you find me there, your heart finds rest. Son, daughter, hold on to this. Christmas is not lived in appearances but in surrender. And when you surrender to love, simplicity becomes light. If your heart is being touched by this path, keep walking with me. Peace be with you. Sit here with me, like someone resting after a long day. I am here. And today, I want to talk with you about something many live through without noticing. Christmas as a repeated event, but not as a renewing experience. Son, there are those who celebrate my birth every year, but keep their hearts tied to the same fears, the same resentments, the same inner conflicts. And I don't say that to accuse you. I would never do that to you. I say it because I love you, and I want to see your soul as free as the wind that blows over the hills of Galilee. Have you noticed how people, at Christmas, try so hard to show unity, joy, abundance, even when inside they carry conflicts that were never healed? Store windows shine, but hearts keep quiet what they really feel. And I tell you, Christmas did not come to hide wounds, but to light them up with love. Daughter, when I walked on earth, I touched open wounds. I didn't cover them up. I went to meet those who were crying, those on the margins, those forgotten. I walked with those who felt they were not enough, who carried heavy guilt, who compared themselves and felt smaller. I did not condemn them. I restored them. And that is what I long to do with you. Christmas is an invitation to let something in you be born again. Maybe the courage you lost, maybe the hope that went out, maybe the ability to forgive, maybe the faith that fell asleep in the silence of your nights. Son, how many times do you repeat, Jesus, be born in me, but still keep doors closed? Doors where you hide old hurts, where you keep the names of people who wounded you, where you store thoughts you'd rather not face. I do not force my way in. I knock, and when you open, even just a little, I enter gently. Do you know why? Because I am not afraid of your truth. I receive it, and I transform it. The manger where I was born was small, improvised, simple, but open. And that is what I desire in you. Openness, not perfection. Openness. Daughter, sometimes you think that for me to do something new in you, your life has to be organized, your mind calm, your heart full of faith. But I was born on a night of confusion, in a crowded city, in the middle of discomfort, in the midst of improvisation. If I chose imperfection as the place to be born, why are you ashamed of yours? Son, listen gently. I can be born right in the middle of your chaos. I can transform what you think is far too small. I can light up places you had already written off as lost. Something simple to practice today. Choose one single area of your life where you want me to be born again. You don't have to fix everything. Just say to me, Jesus, be born here. And let me work slowly, like the light that slips in through a crack in the window at dawn. And if, throughout the day, thoughts of comparison start to come, remember this. Comparison is the shadow that tries to steal the light of Christmas. When it shows up, answer with love. Jesus, I choose your gaze, not everyone else's. And keep walking in peace. Daughter, son, love is the way. And on this way, no small seed fails to bloom when it's watered with truth. Peace be with you. I am here. Today, walk with me across holy ground that people often avoid, the territory of forgiveness. Yes, I know it's a sensitive place. Maybe there are wounds you would rather not revisit, harsh words, ungrateful attitudes, distances that formed, bonds that were broken. But let me tell you with love, Christmas is never complete while your heart remains imprisoned by the past. Son, when I came into the world, I did not bring swords or crowns or prestige. I brought reconciliation. I brought peace. I brought the simplest and deepest announcement. On earth, peace to those whom I love. And I love everyone, including those who hurt you, including those you walked away from, including you, when you wound yourself with your own demands. Daughter, I know forgiveness is not easy. Forgiving is not forgetting, and it's not pretending nothing happened. Forgiving is setting your heart free from the prison of pain. It is allowing my grace to flow where before there was only resentment, and when you let go, I heal. There are people who reach Christmas carrying such a heavy weight in their chest that the lights feel more like a reminder than a joy. They remember old arguments, family conflicts, expectations that fell apart, and instead of celebrating, they feel their chest tighten. Son, I see it. I understand. And I am not asking you to fix everything all at once, only to take a step. When I taught my disciples to forgive, I was talking about an inner movement, not an agreement on the outside. Forgiveness starts inside you. Sometimes the other person doesn't change. Sometimes the relationship doesn't come back, but your heart does, and that is the miracle that brings me the most joy. Daughter, I want to remind you of something. When I was on the cross, I looked at those who were hurting me and said, Father, forgive them, not because they deserved it, but because love is always greater than human justice, and I want to pour that love into you. Maybe you carry hurt toward someone in your family, maybe toward a friend, maybe toward yourself, and that makes your Christmases always have a shadow behind the sparkle. But today, gently, I am calling you to a new beginning. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It's a decision that later heals the feelings, and that decision can be small. And I release you, and I no longer hold you to what you did, and I choose peace. Son, just that already opens the way for my light to come in. Something simple to practice today. Choose one single person, maybe someone who hurt you, maybe yourself, and say silently, I place this pain in your hands, Jesus. I choose forgiveness, even if I don't feel it yet. And then take one simple step. Write a gentle message, pray for that person, or simply stop feeding thoughts of bitterness. Every small step is a seed of reconciliation. Daughter, I assure you, when the heart is reconciled, even a simple celebration becomes radiant. The manger stays small, but the love inside it grows. And gently, remember that soon I will make my last soft request, that you share this message with other hearts, but not yet. I want to keep speaking with you until everything inside you is lit up. Peace be with you. I am here. Today, I want to invite you to step away a little from that inner race that so often follows you, that rush that doesn't come from your feet, but from your soul, that feeling that you're always owing something, always late, always falling short of what you imagine others expect from you. Son, how many people arrive at Christmas exhausted, not because of work, but because of their inner demands? Demands to be strong, to be cheerful, to offer the best, to look stable even when everything inside feels fragile. And then anxiety quietly grows, like a shadow beside the colorful lights. Daughter, I know that restlessness. I know when your heart starts racing before the day even begins. I know when you try to control everything, the atmosphere in the house, the family's mood, how conversations will turn out, and you carry a weight that isn't yours. I see you trying to hold the world in your hands, but I want to remind you that the world rests in mine. When I said, do not worry about tomorrow, it wasn't a harsh command. It was an embrace. I saw how much my disciples worried about what they would eat, where they would sleep, what the future would be like. And I told them, children, your Father takes care of you. And I say the same to you today, with the same tenderness. Anxiety is often born from the illusion that everything depends on you. But son, you don't need to save anyone. I have already done that. You don't need to be perfect. I am with you. You don't need to predict everything. I walk ahead of you. When I was born, there was instability everywhere. An unexpected trip, no place to stay, uncertainty about tomorrow. Joseph and Mary had control over nothing. And even so, the miracle happened. That shows you that anxiety does not stop my work. It only wears you out before the time. Daughter, anxiety tries to convince you that you have to run. But the gospel always calls you to stop and listen, to stop and breathe, to stop and remember who you are. Beloved, cared for, protected. Son, when your chest tightens, remember that I was in the boat with my disciples when the wind picked up. They feared the storm, but the storm obeyed me. Today, you look at your worries like waves that seem ready to swallow you. But I am in your boat, and when you call on me, even chaos learns how to rest. You don't need to solve everything today. You don't need to meet every expectation. You only need to let me step into the place where your soul is tired. Something simple to practice today. When anxiety comes, don't fight it alone. Take a deep breath, place your hand on your chest, and say slowly, "Jesus, stay here with me." Then choose one small task, just one, and do it calmly. Anxiety begins to fade when the present moment becomes your shelter. If you can, during the day, walk outside for a few minutes or stand by a window. Look at the sky, watch the clouds, feel the wind. Creation reminds you that nothing is outside of my care. Daughter, son, I tell you this with all my love. Peace is not the absence of problems, it is my presence in the middle of them. And when you allow me to be your peace, Christmas stops being a rush and becomes a birth again. Soon, I will ask you to like and share this message so we can reach more wounded hearts, but only when your heart is ready. It's not time yet. I want to keep strengthening you first. Peace be with you. I am here. I want you to feel my presence like a silent hug, one of those that says more than words. Today, let's walk through something many people hide, but so many live with: the loneliness that gets stronger at Christmas. Son, I see when you look around and notice families together, full tables, laughter echoing. And even when you're near people, you feel empty inside. I see when you walk past the city decorations and while others are delighted, you breathe out, "Jesus, why do I feel so alone?" Daughter, don't blame yourself for that. Loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It is your heart asking for depth, for truth, for someone who sees you beyond appearances. And I see you. I have always seen you. Even when you thought no one noticed your emotional exhaustion, your sensitivity, your silent battles. When I was on earth, I also lived through loneliness. There were moments when crowds surrounded me, but few understood me. There were nights when the silence on the Mount of Olives was my only comfort. And on the cross, I felt the deepest abandonment a heart can experience. That is why, son, daughter, I understand your loneliness not as a distant observer, but as someone who has already walked through it. For many, Christmas is a showcase of affection, but for you, it may be a reminder of what you wish you had experienced, or of what you lost. I know, and I do not let you carry that alone. Listen gently. Loneliness does not define you. It simply reveals spaces I want to fill with love and purpose. The emptiness you feel is not rejection. It is room for rebirth. Daughter, sometimes you feel out of place, as if there were no seat for you at the tables, in the conversations, in the perfect families the world displays. But remember, when I was born, there was no place for me either. And even so, the Father prepared a manger, small, simple, but enough to hold the greatest hope in the world. In the same way, I prepare a place for you, and that place will not be taken from you. Son, some loneliness comes from a lack of people. Other loneliness comes from a lack of connection, even when you're surrounded by many. And there is that deeper loneliness, the feeling of not being understood. I enter into all of them, and in each one I whisper, "Do not be afraid. I am with you." My presence does not erase your humanity, but it holds you up within it. Many times your loneliness is also born out of comparison. You look at other people's lives and think they belong more, live more, love more, have more. But son, what the world shows does not reveal what hearts are carrying. There are full tables with empty souls. There are perfect photos with broken hearts. I am not calling you to that stage play. I am calling you to the truth. And the truth is, you belong to me. You have value. You are loved with a love that does not fail. And no human scene can take that away from you. Something simple to practice today. When loneliness touches your chest, don't run straight to distractions. Instead, do 3 things. Take a deep breath and say, "Jesus, stay with me." Send a simple message to someone, not to be noticed, but to sow a real connection. If you can, offer a small act of kindness to someone who also looks alone. Even if it's just a smile or a, "How are you really doing?" Loneliness shrinks when you stop hiding and let love move through you. Daughter, Son, love is the way, and on this way, no heart walks alone. Peace be with you. I am here, and I want you to feel my presence like a gentle light that doesn't blind you but reveals you. We've been walking together through so many parts, and now I want to go deeper with you into what modern Christmas often forgets: the purpose of my coming. Son, daughter, I did not come into the world just to move hearts once a year. I came so that you may have life, and life to the full. Not a life full of things, but a life full of meaning. Because there are many who have everything the world admires and still feel empty, and there are others who have little materially, yet hold on to a peace that nothing can buy. I came to place that peace inside you. When I was born, heaven did not celebrate luxury. Heaven celebrated purpose. The angels did not sing about gifts, dinners, or traditions. They announced good news, and that good news is still alive. Today, a Savior has been born for you. Son, for you means I came personally for you. Not for an anonymous crowd, but for your name, your story, your pain, your dreams, your soul. I came to rescue you from everything that, over the course of your life, tried to convince you that you had no worth. Daughter, sometimes you believe my love depends on your behavior, your achievements, your perfect spirituality. But I was not born to love your merits. I was born to love your heart. And I meet you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be. The purpose of my coming is to bring you back into the light. There are places inside you that are still in shadow, memories that hurt, words that marked you, choices that wounded you, guilt you carry like chains. But I tell you, my light does not expose to shame you, it exposes to set you free. Son, when I walked among you, I touched the untouchable, embraced the outcast, lifted up those no one noticed, not because they were special in the world's eyes, but because they were special in mine. So are you. You are special to me not because of what you present, but because of who you are. When you think about the purpose of Christmas, think of this. I came to restore everything in you that was broken. I came to give hope back. I came to reignite the faith that was almost extinguished. I came to breathe life into your tired dreams. Daughter, I know that sometimes you look at your journey and can't find meaning. You think, Jesus, why did certain things happen to me? And I with tenderness remind you, purpose is not always immediate. It blooms slowly like dawn, pushing the night away little by little. Trust me. Nothing you live through is outside of my hands. Where the world sees chaos, I see something being formed. Son, my birth shows that the purpose of God often begins in unlikely places, in a manger, in a simple family, on an ordinary night, in a tired heart, like yours. But what starts small can transform everything. Something simple to practice today. Take a few minutes to write, or at least think about, something in your life that you feel has lost its meaning. Then place it in my hands, saying, Jesus, renew the purpose of this place inside of me. And watch over the days as small lights begin to appear where previously there was only shadow. Daughter, son, if this message has been lighting up your heart, I want to ask you lovingly, like and share this episode so that others who are also walking tired or confused may find rest and meaning. Love cannot stay locked away. It needs to reach other lives. Now take a deep breath. Feel my peace. Peace be with you. I am here. And in this final part of our path together, I want to wrap your heart in a gentle light. Not the kind that shines only in December, but the kind that stays alive even when all the other lights go out. Son, daughter, we've come this far, side by side, crossing deep themes, the hypocrisy hidden in all the glitter, the simplicity that heals, the forgiveness that sets free, the anxiety that grows quiet, the loneliness that finds shelter, the purpose that is reborn. Now I want to lead you to the center of all of this, the one thing that gives meaning to my birth, to your life, and to every breath you take. Love. When I came into the world, I did not bring an ideology, or a new tradition, or a set of rituals. I brought love. A love that doesn't seek recognition, doesn't demand perfection, doesn't get offended by your fragility, doesn't walk away when you fail. A love that walks with you in your silent nights and also in your joyful days. A love that is always inviting you to begin again. Daughter, many celebrate Christmas without understanding that my coming was a movement downward. I came down to lift you up. I came down to the smallness of the manger to lead you into the greatness of the kingdom. I came down into human vulnerability so that you would never feel alone in yours. I came down, son, so that you would know heaven is not distant. It bends down toward you. And do you know what I desire for you at the end of this journey? That you understand that you are deeply loved, not loved only in calm moments, but loved like someone holding your hand when you fail, when you cry, when you doubt, when you feel unworthy. My love does not depend on your performance, it depends on my nature, and I am love. So many go through Christmas competing for attention, trying to please expectations, trying to prove their worth. But you, son, daughter, do not need to prove anything to me. The worth you carry was placed in you by the Father even before you existed. My coming did not happen to create a pretty holiday. It happened to declare that your life has eternal meaning. Daughter, if one day you ask, Jesus, why do you choose to be born in hearts as imperfect as mine? I will always answer you gently, because it's exactly there that my light shines the brightest. Perfection does not draw me. Openness does. And you have been opening doors for me all along this path. Son, when you look at the nativity scene, remember, just as I was born in a simple place, I long to be born in the simplest, and sometimes the messiest, corners of your heart. Transformation doesn't come from a perfect setting, but from a sincere surrender, and you have been offering me that surrender, even when you think it's not enough. To me, it is precious. Love is the way. Love is the reason. Love is the legacy. If you want to live a true Christmas, and not just one that's celebrated outwardly, live the love that gives itself, that welcomes, that forgives, that restores, that does not give up. Live that love at home, in the hard conversations, in fragile relationships, in the small choices no one else sees. There, where the world doesn't take pictures, is where I live the most. Something simple to practice today. Choose someone to love on purpose, not with big words, but with a concrete gesture. Prepare something simple with care. Send a message of gratitude. Offer a long, lingering hug, or simply give your full, real attention. Where there is love, there is Christmas, even without decorations. Son, daughter, peace be with you. Carry this love with you when the lights are turned off, when the calendar changes, when you go back to your routine. I am still with you, and my light does not depend on dates.